Australia's Chief Health Officer, meanwhile, has warned remote communities are most at risk from a potential coronavirus outbreak in Australia. Matt Cunningham's live in Darwin. Matt, this is a major concern, particularly for regional Indigenous communities.
Well, that's right, Annalise. Brendan Murphy made this warning during that evidence that he gave at a Senate hearing this morning. He says while Australia's pretty well placed as far as its metropolitan and major regional centres go to deal with an outbreak of coronavirus, their real concern is in remote communities, particularly remote Indigenous communities. There's a couple of reasons for that, Annalise. One is because of the lack of health services there. If you look just at the Northern Territory, there are only 6 main hospitals in the Northern Territory, and they're all in the major centres. So in some of those remote communities, people might be 300, 400, 500 kilometres from the nearest hospital. Also the fact that there are the underlying health conditions that so many of those people, particularly in remote Indigenous communities, are suffering from. We have high rates of rheumatic heart disease, high rates of diabetes and other chronic illnesses. So this is something that is being watched closely both by the federal government and the Northern Territory government. Now, the Northern Territory's Aboriginal Affairs Minister, Selena Uibo, she actually lives comes from the community of Numbulwar. She says that it's something that's being raised by her constituents. She says the Northern Territory government believes it has this situation under control.
It is on people's minds, people are concerned, but in terms of due diligence and making sure that we're following every process to support the federal government and our Australians returning to the country, I believe that the Northern Territory is very well placed and will continue to be well placed to be able to protect our urban and regional areas from this threat of coronavirus.
At this stage, thankfully, Annalise, there have been no recorded cases of the coronavirus in the Northern Territory. The only people here who have contracted the virus have been those people who have come off the Diamond Princess cruise ship who are being held in quarantine at that Howard Springs workers camp. Now, they are in their last day of quarantine today. In fact, they'll be going home very early tomorrow morning.